Buying a Canon full-frame DSLR is a very exciting prospect, but deciding on the right f-format lenses can be downright challenging. To help you wade through the masses of Canon f full-frame lens models, we've picked our 10 favorites below, along with 7 that just missed the cut. You'll find a wide range of options on this list, including zooms and primes from wide-angle and portrait to telephoto. Canon's lens offerings are immense, not to mention the third-party models from brands like Sigma and Tokina, but there are plenty of excellent options across the price spectrum. For more information, see our Canon F lens comparison table and lens buying advice below the pics. Canon 16 to 35mm f4L. Wide zoom can open up a world of possibilities. In this category we like the 16 to 35mm f4 best, which isn't as strong in low light as the uber-expensive f2.83 below but comparable on most other fronts. With this lens you get great sharpness, reasonable levels of distortion, and a high-quality L-series build that Canon is known for. At the 16 to 35mm focal length range, the f4 versus f2.8 debate is an interesting one. A healthy percentage of people shoot wide-angle photos in daylight, not to mention bokeh is less relevant than with a portrait lens like a 24 to 70mm. Given the Canon 16 to 35mm f4 is less than half of the price of the 16 to 35mm f2.8, considerably smaller and lighter, and comes with image stabilization, we give the nod to the f4 version. If you specialize in things like sunsets or event photography at night, the f2.8 may be worth the extra cost and wait. For most other people, we prefer to save with the 16 to 35mm f4. Canon mm f1.2L. Some of the world is a far better place through an f1.2 lens. Expensive, yes, but the Canon 50mm f1.2 is the premier portrait option for high-end DSLRs, including the 5D Mark IV and 5DSR. With this lens you get superb low-light performance, bokeh, depth of field, and sharpness. If you specialize in people photos and want the best in terms of image quality, this 50mm f1.2 should not disappoint. The downsides of the Canon 50mm f1.2 are clear. A very high price tag for a prime lens, along with a relatively high weight. You can save with various f1.4 versions and the Canon 50mm f1.8, but the step down in image and build quality is pretty substantial across the board. If you frequently shoot portraits and plan on having a 50mm on your camera a good chunk of the time, the cost of this lens is worth it. If not, the Sigma 50mm f1.4 Art and Canon 50mm f1.4 are viable alternatives for less. Canon 4 to 70mm f2.8 L2. The 4 to 70mm f2.8 is the quintessential all-purpose lens for professionals and enthusiasts who want premium image quality and versatility. This Canon F lens pretty much does it all. It's wide enough for landscape photography, yet covers a healthy focal length range for portraits and travel. And with impressive sharpness and optical performance throughout, many people find that once they put the Canon 24 to 70mm f2.8 on their camera, there aren't a whole lot situations where it needs to come off. In terms of options at this popular focal length range, we heartily recommend the pricier f2.8 over the f4 version. We don't always go this route, see the 16 to 35mm and 70 to 200mm below, but this is one of Canon's premier lenses, and the f2.8 maximum aperture gives you the low light performance, bokeh, and depth of field that you just won't get from the f4. For indoor and nighttime photos, which are common with this type of lens, the upgrade in image quality is well worth the price.